morning, everyone. All right, come on in. Excuse my wet hair from my shower that I just took like 30 minutes ago. My friends joke that I started a headband company because I never want to do my hair, and they are not wrong. Throw on a headband, call it a day. Okay, so as you guys are coming in, let's test the comments this morning. Tell me in the comments, what is your favorite place you have ever traveled to? This is also going to tie into the theme of today's talk. And I don't know about y'all, but I have an itch to travel, being, in this pandemic, and we were able to travel a bit in the Airstream, but I'm getting that bug again. So what is your favorite place that you have ever traveled to? Or where are you looking forward to traveling in the future? Someone said Hawaii. Oh yeah, right before, I'm so glad we did this. My husband and I went to Hawaii in January last year. We went to Oahu, but I really want to go to Maui and some of the other islands. It was awesome. Italy, I ate way too much pizza and pasta. Actually, no, I ate just the right amount of pizza and pasta on our honeymoon in Italy. Costa Rica, oh my gosh, that is on my list. I went there when I was like a kid, but would love to go there again. Trout Lake, Michigan, I love it. Just something, nice and simple. St. Thomas or London, those would be really cool too. Let's see what else. Never get enough of Manhattan. Love it. I interned in Manhattan for the summer. Got Spain, Cozumel, Thailand. Oh, my sister goes to Thailand all the time. Her and her boyfriend do a lot of rock climbing, so they love it over there. Portland, Oregon. It's funny. This comment went right beside this Oregon comment. Let's see. Maine is on my bucket list. We're hoping to go there this summer in the Airstream. Stillwater, Minnesota. That's where my in-laws live. It is so cute. Let's see. Dominica. I don't know what Nevis is. Boiling Lake. Wow. This is something that I've never heard of before. Okay, cool. Keep telling me where you guys want to travel to, and we're going to hop right in. So today is a special day for a lot of reasons, but one is because my moderator today in the comments is my husband, Jake. So he will be in the Facebook comments today answering any questions and posting any links because Kathy and Haley have the day off this morning. So Jake will be in the comments, and it's perfect because today's talk that I'm going to do, he is a character in it. Let's just say that. So everyone say hello to Jake in the comments. And if you're wondering why this man is responding to any of your questions, that is my bae. Okay, so let's hop right in today. So we're still in week 2, focusing on writing your About Me page. So tomorrow is Friday, and you'll be writing the About Me page over the weekend. So all the prompts and everything this week is just kind of leading you up to finding what is that central theme. How do you want to tie all this together? So today's prompt on Bright Pages, let's tie it all into what I like to call North Star. Is there a central theme in your stories, something that's bubbling up that you feel your mission and your stories are all pointing towards? So I also like to call this the thread. When I was writing, when I wanted to write Chasing the Bright Side, I actually pitched an idea for a different book that got rejected like 30 times from different agents. And it wasn't until this one agent, who is now my literary agent, said to me, what's the single thread in all of this? Like, you have a lot of stories, you have a lot of things, but like, what's the thread that kind of sews all of them together? And that was when I realized, oh, that single thread is optimism. with starting Headbands of Hope, with all of the other stories in my life, I had to believe that there was going to be good on the other side in order to create it. And so that's how Chasing the Bright Side was born, was by focusing on like that North Star. What's that one single thread? And you might be not know what that single thread is just yet, and that's totally fine. We're actually going to today talk about how to determine if you know what that single thread is, and I'm going to do that through telling you guys a little story about how Jake and I decided to live in an Airstream, and I promise this has a point to today's topic and what I'm talking about. So after we got married, it was like a month or two after that, we were at this restaurant, and we joke, we call it the coconut shrimp that changed our life, because we were eating this coconut shrimp appetizer, and I had just gotten back from a speaking trip where I actually had coincidentally spoken near where my parents were parked in their RV. They've been living in an RV for like 7 years now, which is crazy. They're also entrepreneurs. They sold their company, sold their house, and bought an RV, and they're now park rangers, which I think is adorable. So I got to stay in their RV, and I just fell in love with the concept of RVing. I'm like, they can travel to all these different places, but they still have the comfort of their own home, their own pillow each night. And just the simplicity of it, like the minimalism, you only have like your 2 plates, your 2 cups, your 2 forks. I'm like, this is just really refreshing. And at that point, I was speaking around 50 times a year, going on planes almost every week. And I was getting kind of tired, not necessarily of the speaking, but the traveling, the planes, the rental cars, the different hotels. And so when we were at this dinner and eating this coconut shrimp, I said to Jake, I was like, what if we lived in an RV for a year? What if we just gave that a shot? Like, I'm already on the road traveling all the time anyway. Maybe, we could work remote together, and this would be a way for us to see the country, but also, keep traveling, which I'm doing all the time. And so his response was something along the lines of, and he'll correct me if I'm butchering it. He was like, yeah, like that sounds great, but how would we do that? How would that work? There's something to know about our marriage. And it's funny because we talked about the Enneagram yesterday. Like, I am the ideaist and like shoot for the moon, and he is very logical, like, sounds great, Jess, but how are we going to make that happen? And so when we were at dinner, we just started walking down that path of like, what if we were doing this? What would we need to do in order to make this happen? Okay, we would need to rent out our place. We would need to find the RV that we like. We would need to see, like, what's the budget of doing this? What does it cost to be on the road? How much do campgrounds cost? How much do RVs cost? We have no idea. We would need to figure out like the Wi-Fi situation. How can we work remote? Figure out how to tow an RV if we're going to do that, how to dump the tanks, how to get water. And it like seemed like this really long list of daunting unknowns. But what we decided to do at dinner was we pretended to go all in. We're like, okay, let's just say for the next week, let's pretend that we're doing this trip. Let's just see, like, because it's the limbo period, it's the gray areas that can really kill that motivation and inspiration to do something, because you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. What would happen if just in your mind, you put both feet in and you said, I'm going to do this. So for that next week, we pretended like we were doing this trip, and we said, okay, I'm going to go research RVs. I'm going to go see what we could rent our condo for. Jake is like, I'm going to go put together a budget spreadsheet and see if this is something that we could financially swing. So for that next week, we had this mindset of, we're doing this trip just to see how it feels. And then at the end of that week, we could either say, okay, this is like too stressful. This is not going to work. This is like fitting a square peg in a round hole. Or we're like, you know what? This is working. And after that week was up, we didn't even have like, It wasn't even a point where we were like, it's been a week, let's discuss. Our wheels were already turning, pun intended, because, going on the road. Our wheels were already turning. And so we just kept working. And eventually we found that Airstream that we wanted on this like Airstream classifieds list in Oklahoma. Got it shipped to North Carolina. Funny story, on the way there, someone actually ran into it when someone was delivering it. So we have a massive dent in the bumper of our Airstream that really added to the character of our trip. But one of the things, the strategies that I felt like worked for us in doing this was, instead of trying to create this massive pros and cons list, and instead of trying to feel the weight of something, a really big decision, we just pretended to go all in. And when you do that, you're going to discover really quickly whether this feels right or feels wrong. And usually when it feels right, it's just about breaking that seal of fear. You just start doing things that feel like, oh yeah, this is a line, I'm going to keep going for it. So as you're thinking about today's prompt and your North Star, you might be thinking about like 4 different ones, or you might be leaning towards something that you're like, I think this is a consistent theme in my story, but I'm not sure. I want you to use the same Airstream strategy that we did, and I want you to pretend to go all in with your North Star. For the next 24 hours, I want you to say, I'm the blank person. I'm the confidence person. I'm the optimist person. I'm the, go for it person. Whatever that thread is that you're leaning towards, what if for the next day you just sat with that hat on and just see how it felt? Is there stories that keep bubbling up? Is there lessons? Is there meaning that you can continue to write about? Yesterday, I was on Clubhouse. Shocker, you guys know I'm obsessed with Clubhouse. And I was hosting a room for authors or aspiring authors. And someone was in the room and she just said, I have all of these ideas and I don't know where to begin to write a book. And I asked her the same question that you guys are answering today. What's that thread? What's that single thread in your story that you feel like is weaving it all together? And she goes, I think it's connection. So I said, for the next week, you are the connection author. Like, that is it. That is what you do for 1 week. When you can narrow your focus, when you can pick that North Star, see what happens. See what shifts, see what ideas you come up with. It's kind of like, have you ever said something like, my next car, I'm going to buy a Jeep. And then all of a sudden you start seeing all of these Jeeps on the road that were already there. They already existed, but because you're thinking about Jeeps, you now start seeing them. That's exactly what happens when we pick this thread, this North Star. When we lean into something and we choose it, all of a sudden our vision of the world around us starts to match up with what we've picked. So I'm curious if any of you have a consistent thread that you are thinking about, or something that you've maybe already selected that you want to start to formulate, maybe tweak your mission statement, or as you start writing your About Me page, what do you want all of this to point towards? Let's see, Lauren said, the common thread is so important. I'm relieved to hear about your book idea rejection stories, because I feel like I'm where you were at, all over the place and not able to focus on that universal theme yet. I'm the perseverance person. I love that. Oh, did someone say that they're going on the road? That's funny. I think I'm the empowerment person. Oh, thank you, Jake. Obsessed with Clubhouse is an understatement. He knows every time I have my AirPods in walking around the house, I'm like, I'm on Clubhouse. Surviving person, self-belief, healing with love. This is amazing. So whatever it is, pick something. It could be 24 hours. You could give yourself a week, whatever you want it to do. Pick your theme, pick your North Star, consistent thread, whatever you want to call it, and just try it on. It's kind of like, I don't know if anyone has any tattoos in here. I don't have one. I have some ideas for it. But it's like if you thought you were going to get a tattoo and you first drew it on wherever part of your body with a Sharpie, or you got like a henna tattoo or something that you could just see how it felt. Like, how do you, when you look in the mirror, you see your reflection and you see that like Sharpie tattoo on you, How does it feel before you actually go and get that real ink? That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing when we're picking a North Star and trying to figure it out. I'm the hopeful person. I'm the encourager, motivator. I love that. Starting my North Star is transformation. I love that. It didn't click with me right away, but the more I analyze and my comeback and discovery story, the more it makes sense. Chloe, you are spot on. That's why we look at our stories and all these different pivotal points in our life that sometimes we didn't even notice. And then when we can actually zoom out and look at them, which is why I like online journaling, because you can kind of put all of you can organize all your thoughts. You can see what those themes are. Stealing, I kept going around with self-belief and connection, but my story is also about transformation. Great. And that's the other part about this is sometimes we feel like whatever it is that we pick, it has to be something groundbreaking that like no one has ever thought about or done before. I'm not the first person or author to write about optimism. Like I didn't, patent that. I don't have a trademark around optimism. So I love that people are being inspired by other people's words because it's not about necessarily the North Star that you pick. It's the manner in which you guide people to it. So you all have your own different, unique, personal stories that you can choose to teach from, whether that's through speaking, writing, blogging, podcasting, whatever you might want to do on your social media platform. And so if you have a theme or this North Star that might be similar to someone else's, the manner in which you get people there, that's your degree of difference. That's your degree of separation. So don't get too in your head about this, thinking that you have to have something that's never been said or done before. The way that you get people there, that's going to be your difference. Oh, I like this one, Megan. The moment of truth person. I love that. Also, that is a badass profile picture. Okay, so keep these coming. These are really good. And I'm really inspired by all of your words that you guys are saying. One more thing to remember about this is that remember that no one has ever arrived at their North Star. They've only used it for guidance. So as you pick like this North Star, this goal or this theme, don't think that it's about crossing this finish line or achieving something. It's just what all of the things that you want to do are pointing towards. And for me, with mission statements, with North Stars, with knowing what you stand for, with knowing what you're about, it helps with this, all of the decisions that we have to make every day to do this or not to this, to raise our hand or not, to post this or not, to start this or not. When you have a North Star, when you have a mission statement, when you know what you stand for, you can have a very clear line of like, is this aligned or isn't it? One of the things I wasn't prepared for when starting a business was like all of the decisions that I had to make. The clearer I got about what I was doing it for, the clearer it got of what I could say no to or what I could say yes to. Let me see what else you guys have said. Discovering self through loss. That's another really good one. Thanks so much for saying that. Took a lot of weight off. Great. I'm so glad. Okay. So tomorrow, you're going to be writing your About Me page. So if you don't have the workbook yet, or if you haven't downloaded yet, Jake will put it in the comments. So this will be kind of a mix of you'll have your prompt tomorrow, but then you can also start mapping out your About Me page in your workbook. Or you can just use the format in the workbook and hit the free write option on Bright Pages and like put everything in there. I see some people who have printed out their workbook and are like manually writing it in there. Whatever you want to do is fine. And plus, tomorrow we'll have a guest speaker, Natalie Frank, who is incredible. One of my really good friends. If you want to go ahead and look her up on Instagram, she is a force to be reckoned with. She's the founder of Rising Tide Society, which got acquired by HoneyBook. So now she's the community director over at HoneyBook, which is a really awesome, like kind of invoicing platform. And she will be our guest speaker tomorrow. Okay, so a couple more announcements before we wrap up. Yesterday's live with Ashton and doing the Enneagram was super fun. It was really cool to learn more about that and also hear your Enneagram types. So if you missed that, you can go to the announcements tab in the Facebook group. Also working with Ashton right now, actually today. We're doing a Clubhouse room today. I know, definitely obsessed at noon if you guys want to tune in. But working with Ashton now on a Enneagram prompt pathway. So just as a reminder, if you guys sign up for an annual membership to Bright Pages or as a monthly member, you will get access to all of our prompt pathways. And at the end of this challenge, we're going to be uploading a lot more and a lot from the guest speakers that you guys have heard so far. So right now, the prompts on the platform and the pathways are from me, but it won't be like that for long. I'll still have pathways on there, but there will be a lot of different pathways from different people like Ashton, Antonio, and more speakers that you guys are going to hear from. So we've opened up more annual memberships. You can use the code U29LT at app.brightpages. This is a long link. I know we're working on it. Jake will put that in the comments. And when you sign up, you'll get 40% off your annual subscription. So that's $29.99, not just for the entire year, but for the lifetime price. So as we start to add more pathways, add more functions to Bright Pages, the annual fee will go up from $49. You guys won't ever have to pay more than $29.99 a year. Because you guys are going to be founding members for the group. And so you've already helped us so much make the platform better. So we want to get people like you who will keep using it and keep helping us make it better in there. So, but if you're not ready to do the full year, you can do monthly for $4.99 a month and still get access to all of the pathways. Signed up on the first day. Amazing. Woohoo. Enneagram pathway. I know. I'm really excited about that one. She sent me the first draft of her questions last night. And they are really, really good. Signed up yesterday. Amazing. So excited to check out other pathways. Hello, Jennifer. Jennifer is incredible. She's in our Mic Drop workshop, and she's also a really good follow on Instagram. If you guys want to follow Jennifer, she's super inspiring. Can't wait to check out the new pathways once the 21 challenge is done. Also, the 21-day challenge will stay and live on Bright Pages as a pathway. So if you want to do it again, maybe like later this year, whenever you need a refresh, you can still have access to all of these questions and do it again. Proud founding member, love it. Awesome. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad that my sound is back. Okay, cool. Well, let me know if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments, and we will have Natalie Frank join us tomorrow. And you guys will also be writing your About Me page. And then we'll be heading into week 3, which is crazy. So just a little foreshadowing of week 3. We're going to take everything we've done and put together an action plan. So based on all of your values that you've learned about yourself, your mission statement, your About Me. Now, what do you want to do with it? So that's what we'll be doing next week. But I am so excited to have you guys hear Natalie tomorrow. And I'm so proud of everything that you guys have been doing. I sent out some emails yesterday to people who I can't see what you post on Bright Pages, but I can see how many times you posted. So emailed some of those people that are doing it every day, which is awesome. Jake said, when am I coming on as a guest speaker? You don't have a filter, so probably never. Maybe we'll get Ollie, which is our dog in his profile picture right there. I'll miss your lives once this challenge is over. I'm going to miss doing them. I was kind of nervous about it before starting this challenge. I've never gone live this many times, but this has been really fun. But if you want something similar to this, I have my podcast Business on the Bright Side that drops every Sunday night for a Monday morning listen, and all episodes are under 15 minutes because that is how I like to roll. Okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you here same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, everyone.